Here I'm going to talk about the braided river system. Previously we have finished the introduction part to the fluvial systems. When we discuss these braided river system or braided fluvial systems, the first thing is the occurrence. So most of these braided rivers are seen in the upstream part of a river, that is in the younger stages, which lies in the mountains or close to the alluvial fans or at the distal end of the alluvial fans. In few cases, these braided rivers are seen in the vicinity of glacials. So, for the formation or generation of braided rivers, there should be rapid discharge of sediments or large fluctuation of sediments in a short duration of time. There should be abundance of coarse sediments and high supply of sediments or high rate of supply of sediments in bed load. So all these conditions mostly exist in the mountains, that is in the upstream reaches of the stream or river. Therefore we see braided rivers in those regions. So to characterize the braided river system, you need to remember the important parameters which are shown here. We have seen this graph earlier also, which shows the spectrum of fluvial systems. Here on the top you can see alluvial fan, and close to the alluvial fan at the distal end there are braided rivers. So if you see these parameters here, gradient, the channel flow, discharge rate, the ratio of bed load to suspended load, the ratio of sand to mud, sand body geometry and levee. The gradient required for the formation of braided rivers is high. The slope should be high. Then the channel flow should be unconfined. That means the channel or the flow of water is not restricted. There is no definite boundary for a river stream. The rate of discharge is flashy or seasonal. That means water flows only during the flood time or during rainy season, and that is the reason the sediments lag within the channel and it gives rise to formation of a braided river system. So these are the conditions which are responsible for the formation of these braided rivers. Next is the ratio of bed load to suspended load. This ratio is high in case of braided rivers, whereas if you see fine grained meandering river systems or delta distributary systems, the ratio is low. Now the ratio is high means more of sediments are transported by bed load and very less amount of sediments are transported in suspension load. So various factors are responsible for this. One of the important factors is the availability of grains. So these are the rivers, the braided rivers, where there is more of coarse material available rather than fine material, and also the intensity of flow is higher along the slope. Therefore you see more amount of sediments being transported by bed load than in suspension load, and therefore the ratio is high. And in sync with this, the ratio of mud to sand is also high. There will be more amount of sand and little mud. Then the deposits of braided river system, they are wide, lateral extension is more, whereas if you see fine grained meandering river systems or delta distributary channels, these are narrow and elongated. Levees, which are the natural boundaries formed on the either side of the channel, are slightly developed in this case, whereas these are very well developed in other systems. So these are the important characteristics of a fluvial system, and if you remember these parameters you can compare all the systems and it will be easier for you to write the characters in detail. The next thing is the deposits of the braided river system. The sediments which get deposited within the channel, they are called as sedimentary units or channel fill units. These are flat bedded, mostly discontinuous and isolated or lenticular or tabular in shape. So these channel fill units are of two types. One is longitudinal bar and another is transverse bar. Now here in this diagram you can see this sand body is called as longitudinal bar because the long axis of this sand body is in the direction of flow. As against this, if you see these sand bodies, these are perpendicular to the flow direction, and therefore these are called as transverse bars, and these bars which are parallel to the long axis of the flow channel are called as longitudinal bars. Apart from these two, there is one more type of sand body or sedimentary deposit which is seen in the braided rivers on the margin of the channel, and these are called as lateral bars. Here you can see. So coming back to these bars, the longitudinal bars which are elongated and deposited parallel to the flow channel, these may extend up to hundreds of feet in length, tens of feet in width, and 2 to 3 feet in thickness. And transverse bars are tens of feet in width, their length is very less, and 2 to 3 feet in thickness. So these longitudinal bars, as I mentioned earlier, these are deposited parallel to the current flow direction, and transverse bars are deposited perpendicular to the flow direction. So if you want to simplify this, you can say that these longitudinal bars are similar to the dividers on the road which runs parallel to the road, and as against this, the transverse bars are similar to the speed breakers on the road which are seen perpendicular to the road. So that way it is easier to remember. Now here you can see an actual picture of a braided river system or braided river, and here you can see a longitudinal bar. Now this is the first order longitudinal bar, and this channel is first order channel. Now the first order bar, it has been dissected by another channel here if you see carefully, and as a result of this you can see two different bars here. So these become second order bar, and the channel becomes second order channel. One more example is seen here. An original bar has been dissected by a new channel. So the first order bar has been divided into second order bars, and this may go on. So this is all about the bars in a braided river system. Next is the nature of sediments in a braided river system. This part is very important. So the sediments of a braided river system are usually coarse grained, obviously because of its occurrence in the mountains, and these sediments are comprised of coarse gravel or coarse sand or mixture of both. These sediments are texturally immature or chemically immature because of less transportation of sediments. The sediments are not transported for a longer distance, and therefore they do not get sorted according to their grain size. Therefore the sediments or the deposits of braided river system are texturally immature, and they contain very little amount of mud, silt or clay, as against the fine grained meandering river systems which are seen in the lower reaches at the flat ground close to the coastal plains, where only finer material is transported and coarse material lags behind. So that these are the contrasting features between the braided river system and fine grained meandering river system. Apart from this, the common minerals which are seen in the braided river system include the quartz, feldspar and mica. Out of these three, if you see, feldspar and mica are having less resistance to weathering, but still preserved in the sediments. That is because these systems are close to the source or provenance. Longer is the transportation, the feldspar and mica may get dissolved. And braided river sediments contain very little amount of organic matter. It is very rare. Because of the coarse sediments, it is not well preserved. Now these are the cross sections of longitudinal bar and transverse bar. Now this graph, if you see, is plot of valley slope or gradient against the rate of discharge. So when the slope is maximum as well as the rate of discharge is highest, you see formation of bars, which is nothing but a braided river system. So as the slope decreases and as the flow of river becomes continuous, you see reduction in the number of bars and water flows through single channel here, either it is meandering or straight. So the formation of different types of river channels depend on these parameters as we discussed earlier: the slope, that is gradient, the rate of discharge and the grain size. Now here you can see the migration of a braided river channel. Now this is the active channel here, and in this portion, if you see, this is the abandoned channel. So over a period of time, it may so happen that a river gets clogged because of its own deposits and it finds a new path to flow, and this migration of channel from its original channel is called as avulsion. So braiding could be one of the reasons for avulsion of a river system. There are various reasons for the migration of river channel or for the avulsion of channel. One of the reasons is braiding. Another reason is due to the formation of crevasse play in the meandering river system. So that part is a separate unit or separate topic that will cover under avulsion of river channels. Now if you see the deposits of a braided river system, although in this diagram you can see a characteristic sequence of grain size and sedimentary structures, it is very rare in case of braided river systems. The deposits of braided river system do not show any characteristic change in the grain size in upward direction. Neither you will be able to see any sedimentary structure clearly if you compare with the fine grained meandering river systems. This is very important factor. So the diagnostic characteristics or features of a braided river system to revise: there is poor lateral continuity of depositional units, that is bars. They are isolated and laterally their extension is little or less. The sand body geometry is multilateral. It contains more amount of sand and less of mud and silt. Ripple cross laminations are rare. There is no characteristic vertical variation in the grain size. The contact at the base is abrupt and erosional, and overbank deposits or levees are very rare or poorly developed. Apart from braided river system, there is another type of river channel which is usually seen. It is called as anastomosing river channel. So this channel looks similar to braided river system, but it is different. Its occurrence or presence is not comparable with the braided river system. These anastomosing river channels are mostly seen close to the sea level or on the flat land on the coastal plains rather than in the mountains. And the similarity with the braided river system is that here you can see multiple channels which are interconnected and coexisting. So that is the similarity, but their occurrences are different, and therefore these are differentiated from braided rivers. Now this is the example you can see here in the diagram. Another example. Now this is example of braided river. It is in Canada. The Indian examples of braided river systems or braided river includes Nubra River, which is close to the Siachen Glacier in Himalaya. Another example is Shyok River. Both these Nubra and Shyok rivers are tributaries of Indus River. You can find out more information about these rivers. So this is all about braided river systems. In the next video, we'll see coarse grained meandering river systems.